Welcome to LFFL Primetime, everything you need to know in just 5 or 10 minutes, whatever we're at today. Let's talk about playoffs, shall we? LFFL, 2 weeks to go. Here are your results. The top 5 teams won. Greg, Josh, Todd, Bill, myself, all winners this week. So if you look at standings, those 5 teams I just listed are in the playoffs. Greg has clinched a bye week into the semifinals in week 16. I'm at 9-4 in the driver's seat for bye week number 2. However, Josh, Todd, both can still get up past me with a loss and a win, and then some points scored stuff going on there. They're both at 8-5. Bill at 7-6 has clinched a playoff spot, but will be playing in the wild card round in week 15. And then finally, Matt in the driver's seat for that final playoff position. However, Andy and Eric can both still get up there with a win and a Matt loss. Phil and Miles officially eliminated this year. So, as I told you, Greg in with a bye. I am in possible bye week with a win. If not, Josh and Todd have some ability to get there and get it from me. Josh, obviously the best possibility. Josh has led this league in scoring all season. Will be leading in scoring. There's really no way that can change. He could take a 0 and he would still be leading this league in scoring at the end of next week. Bill is in, and the one spot left is Matt, Andy, and Aaron. If Matt loses, this could get real interesting real fast. So let's look at who's playing who, shall we? Greg taking on Andy, so he's got a tough game if he wants to get in there against the leading team this year. Greg won their week 9 game, 130-106. This was our traditional regular season finale for years when they were in the same division, and it was always a good one between these two teams. No matter whether they were in the playoffs, out of the playoffs, Andy does lead the series 23-21, and he has to win this game. They have a chance at the playoffs. Todd taking on Bill, both teams in the playoffs, but this means much more for Todd. Todd can still get the bye week, whereas Bill, win or lose, doesn't change much. Bill beat Todd in week 7, 106-103, and has a commanding 24-14 lead in the series. Phil taking on Eric. Obviously, this game is meaningless for Phil at this point. However, Eric, if he wants to make the playoffs, has to win this game. Can he beat his old roommate? Well, he won the week 2 game, 127-108, but it is Phil that leads the career series, 31-23. And then finally, Josh can absolutely still get that bye week. He's taking on Miles this week. The problem, Miles, one of the highest scoring teams in the league in spite of his not so great record, and Miles won the week 11 game between these two teams, 157-149, but Josh, the 3-2 lead in the series. Finally, your LFFL primetime matchup. Whenever Matt and I hook up, it is always the primetime matchup. You gotta go back to September of 1991, the first time these two teams played. Matt got me that day. Can Matt get me again? Well, if he wants to make the playoffs, a win puts him in there. But if he doesn't beat me, well, then it hurts his playoff chances and it hurts Josh's hopes to get a bye week because I win and I get that bye week. So I was able to beat Matt 159-129 to open this season, and now I do hold a 39-36 series lead. I can secure a bye with a win. Matt secures that playoff spot with a win. Fantrax currently has me as a 134-119 favorite in the game. I do not feel comfortable at all. Anytime I play Matt, throw the records out the window. I love it. Good luck this week, buddy. Eric, Bill, Todd, Sean, and myself are your winners in the LFFL2. Eric does have the 10-3 lead. Bill beating Phil means Bill stays 1 game back. Phil drops 2 games back with me. The winners obviously very likely come out of that top 4. We only have 6 to play. 5, 6, 7 is Meryl, Sean, and Miles, and they're all 6 and 7, 4 games behind Eric. So your winner very likely come from those top 4 teams. Todd, Greg, and Andy are all playing for the top pick at this point. Your week 14 games, Eric taking on Miles, Phil taking on Sean, the Merrills taking on Greg, Todd taking on Andy, and the only game with 2 of the top 4 playing each other is Bill versus myself. I don't even know who Eric's going to root for right there. I lose, it probably really knocks me out of contention a bit, but if Bill loses, Eric could have 2-game lead at the end of the week. Interesting stuff. LFFL 3, your winners. Sean, Bill, Phil, top 3 in the standings, go ahead and win. Matt Merrill wins. Matt Brennan wins, and Todd wins. Sean and Bill in the driver's seat for a bye week. Sean, much more so than Bill. Sean has a fairly commanding lead in points scored over both Bill and Phil. So if Phil's going to get up into a bye week, it will likely come at the expense of Bill. Obviously, he would need Bill to lose, and he would need to win. Matt, Merrill, and Eric are playing Wild Card Week. There's no way around that at this point. Greg in the driver's seat for that final playoff spot at 7 and 6. And in all honesty, he has the final playoff spot. He is over 100 points clear on the season of both Matt, Brennan, and Eric. So even if they win and Greg loses, they would have to outscore Greg by over 100 points, which could happen. Greg could have a stinker. They could have a stud, but not likely. So Greg is likely your 6th seed. Very, very likely. Nate, Andy, myself, and Todd all already out. Your week 14 games. Bill taking on Matt Merrill. So a tough one for Bill, trying to hold that playoff spot. Phil taking on Eric. So no easier for Phil, trying to get that bye week from Bill. Greg taking on Matt Brennan. Miles taking on Todd. Nate taking on Andy. Sean taking on myself. Your playoff picture already explained it to you. Sean very likely in with that bye week, although it's not officially clinched yet. Bill also in the driver's seat for the bye week. Phil can still get the bye week with when it's Melt. Matt, Merrill, and Eric are in. Greg, very likely at final playoff spot, but Matt, Brennan, and Miles do have the outside chance. There. Your week 13 in the LFFL4. Congratulations to my good friend Eric Warner, a 145.60 score. It is his fourth win of the season, his 16th win of his illustrious career. The fourth win this year is a league-leading number, and you can tell from the standings that league-leading number is drawing him ever closer to Nate every single week. Jeremy takes the silver this week. I was able to take the bronze medal on your Monday Night Football. I'm sorry, Jeremy plays top 2 and 3 of the last 5. Very impressive, Jeremy. Greg was able to take your Monday Night Football, 82.99 points, his third showdown win of the season, and keeps him in fourth place because Bill came in second, got an additional point to stay just ahead of Greg in third and in fourth. LFFL5, your semifinal number 1, my good friend Phil Kaufman with a 219 to 210 over my good friend Eric Warner. Phil, of course, had won 4 straight coming in, the last 3 with over 200 points, so this is the 4th consecutive week Phil scored over 200 points. Phil might very well be the favorite to win this whole darn thing, in spite of that 0-2 career playoff record. Eric is your defending champion, but has lost 3 of his last 4, does have a 2-2 career playoff record. Your LFFL5 semifinal number 2, I am taking on Greg over here, and I do have a lead over Greg coming out of here. My team was hot as a firecracker coming down the stretch. 7 of my last 8, and carried it right into this first week of the playoffs. I do have 4-1 career playoff record, but the others got a better playoff record than me, and that's Greg. Greg was last year's runner-up. Even though he lost 3 of his last 4 games, has won all 4 of his semifinal games. So a very formidable opponent. Still right in the mix after week 1. Your LFFL6, nothing really changed over here. Greg actually increases his lead over Matt. All your monthly leaders stay the same. The only change, Big Bro. That's right. Big Brother Kaufman jumps up over 2 of his buddies, Eric and myself, from 5th to 3rd. Looking at the LFFL7, this was the excitement this week. Matt, Merrill, and Nate tied. Actually, dead even tied. So, my initial thought was the team who scored less points on the season should be the eliminated team, but I did some research. I went around to see what the standard industry procedures are for this sort of thing. First stop I made was guillotineleagues.com. This is originally where I found out about guillotine leagues myself. Well, Greg told me about them, but then when I looked them up online, I saw this, and this is guillotine leagues is kind of the industry standard for what a guillotine league is. This is exactly how they eliminate people. They look for that lowest score, and that's how they do it. Year-to-date score, and that's how they do it. I also looked on my fantasy league, and they do the same thing over there. So there seems to be some industry consensus as to how to handle this, so we're going to handle it the same way. Nate is going to be your elimination, which means we are left with just 2 Merrills in the fight here. Josh Merrill, Matt Merrill. We will have a winner next week. Which Merrill will it be? I've been cheering for, we've never had an old school win this league. Matt still has a chance, but Josh has been the best team so far this year in this league, and Josh, traditionally, for the last 4 years, has been the best team. He 100% deserves to win this title, so I can't wait to see which one of you wins. There'll be a deserving champion either way. LFFL8, Todd, posting league high score and is pulled within 8 points of me at the top. Phil, just 19 points back at Todd, and Matt Brennan right there in 4th means we have 4 teams within 30 points of the lead over here. This should be a great battle down the stretch. Eric's still in play here if he could put together a few big weeks. LFFL9, your final 4. This was kind of foregone conclusion here. Myself and Greg, the 1 and 2 seeds, moving on to meet in the final. Both post very similar scores over these 3 weeks. We both get a move. I will have to use some strategery to figure out what kind of move I want to do to negate Greg's really hot team right now. They're really cranking on all cylinders. So, congratulations to everyone who's already in the playoffs. I look forward to getting a few more of you in the playoffs this week. I look forward to a great playoff run, the LFFL. This is awesome. It's been a great season so far. I hope you all have a great week, whether it's in the LFFL or in whatever leagues you're playing. We'll talk to you guys later.